Science fiction takes us to strange new worlds, asks the big what-if questions, and shows us futures we can only imagine. From dystopian societies buried deep underground to journeys across the galaxy filled with political intrigue, the best sci-fi series push the boundaries of storytelling and technology. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 sci-fi TV shows you should watch on streaming, so you don't have to waste time searching for your next binge. Number 10. Raised by Wolves. Raised by Wolves is a science fiction drama created by Aaron Guzikowski. It begins after Earth is devastated by a massive religious war, and two androids named Mother and Father are sent to establish a new human colony on the distant planet Kepler 22b. Their mission is to raise human children free of religious influence. But tension arises when a devout religious group known as the Mithric arrives, bringing conflict, ideological divisions, and power struggles. As the children grow, the androids wrestle with questions of faith, free will, and what it means to be human. The series explores themes of belief, identity, survival, and how fragile social order can be under extreme pressure. The show ran for 2 seasons before being canceled. The show originally streamed on HBO Max. Number 9. Foundation is a sweeping science fiction epic based on Isaac Asimov's novels, adapted for television by David S. Goyer and Josh Friedman. The story is set in a far future where the Galactic Empire, ruled by a dynasty of cloned emperors, spans most of the galaxy. A brilliant mathematician, Harry Seldon, develops a science called psychohistory that can predict the collapse of the Empire and foresees a long, dark age for humanity. To shorten the ensuing chaos, Seldon and his followers establish a remote colony called the Foundation to preserve human knowledge and provide a seed for rebuilding civilization. The series follows multiple characters, including Seldon himself, his protege Gall Dornick, the clones of Emperor Cleon, and the enigmatic android Demerzel, across centuries as crises, power struggles, and ideological conflict threaten the Foundation's survival. Themes of fate versus free will, the nature of empire, and the fragility of civilization run throughout the show. You can watch Foundation as an Apple TV plus. Number 8. The Last of Us is a post-apocalyptic drama series created by Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann that adapts the popular video game. Set roughly 20 years after a fungal pandemic collapses civilization by turning most infected humans into monstrous, aggressive creatures, the story centers on Joel, a hardened survivor, and Ellie, a teenage girl who appears to be immune to the infection. What starts as a dangerous smuggling mission across a ruined United States becomes an emotionally fraught journey where Joel and Ellie form a fraught, parent-child bond in the face of violence, loss, and moral ambiguity. As the seasons progress, the show explores themes of love, sacrifice, trauma, and what it means to rebuild humanity when almost everything has been lost. In its second season, the narrative expands to deal with vengeance, shifting loyalties, and the fallout of past actions, diving deeper into Ellie's relationships and Joel's legacy. You can watch The Last of Us on HBO Max/Max. Number 7. The Mandalorian is a space western/drama series created by Jon Favreau that takes place in the Star Wars universe, shortly after the fall of the Galactic Empire. It centers on Din Djarin, a lone Mandalorian bounty hunter who reluctantly becomes the protector of a mysterious, Force-sensitive child known as Grogu. The show traces their journey across the outer reaches of the galaxy, dealing with bounty hunters, remnants of Imperial forces, and moral quandaries about duty and loyalty. Along the way, Din seeks to reunite Grogu with his own kind, while facing threats from Moff Gideon and other adversaries who want to exploit Grogu's power. As the series progresses, themes of identity, honor, redemption, and found family are explored, along with the cultural backstory of the Mandalorians themselves. The show also deepens the Star Wars lore by connecting to characters like Bo-Katan, the Darksaber, and the efforts to rebuild Mandalore. You can watch The Mandalorian on Disney+. Number 6. Severance. Severance is a psychological thriller/sci-fi series centered on Lumen Industries, a corporation that offers a controversial procedure called severance, which surgically separates each employee's memories into 2 non-overlapping identities: their work self, the innie, and their life outside of work, the outie. The protagonist, Mark, joins the severed workforce even as he's grieving the presumed death of his wife, and gradually begins to suspect that something deeply sinister lies beneath the company's benign facade. As new employees like Helly push back against the strange rituals and opaque rules, Mark and his co-workers, Irving, Dylan, and others, start unraveling conspiracies both inside Lumen's facilities and in the world beyond. The tension escalates as the boundaries between work and life blur. Secrets from the past resurface and loyalties are tested. Over time, the show explores themes of identity, free will, corporate control, memory, and what it means to truly live. You can watch Severance on Apple TV Plus. Number 5. Silo is a dystopian science fiction drama set in a future where the remnants of humanity live in a massive underground silo that stretches over 100 levels deep, isolated from the toxic and dangerous world above. The society inside is governed by strict rules and powerful institutions that claim these regulations are essential for survival. But many residents suspect the truth is being hidden. The plot centers on Juliet Nichols, an engineer drawn into a mysterious murder and conspiracy that challenge everything she's been told about the silo's history and purpose. As she digs deeper, Juliet confronts institutional secrecy, surveillance, and political intrigue, struggling to balance her curiosity with the risks of rebellion. The narrative also explores religion, power, identity, and how societies control knowledge to maintain order. Over multiple seasons, the story expands outward to include revelations about other silos and the true nature of life outside, constantly asking how much of the world they trust is an illusion. You can stream Silo on Apple TV Plus. Number 4. Fallout, Prime Video series, is a post-apocalyptic drama based on the iconic video game franchise. The story is set about 2 centuries after a devastating nuclear war, the Great War of 2077, that has destroyed civilization and left humanity fragmented. Inside fortified underground vaults, some people live in relative safety and comfort, while the surface is a harsh, irradiated wasteland filled with danger, mutants, and factions vying for power. The protagonist, Lucy McLean, leaves her home in Vault 33 to venture into the wasteland in search of her missing father, uncovering brutal truths about how the world was rebuilt and who orchestrated its collapse. Along the way, she encounters characters like Maximus of the Brotherhood of Steel and the Ghoul, a mutated but sentient survivor, and navigates the political, moral, and violent conflicts of a broken world. The series explores themes of survival, inequality, corrupted utopias, identity, and the legacy of power. You can watch Fallout exclusively on Amazon Prime Video. Number 3. Altered Carbon is a cyberpunk sci-fi series set centuries in the future, in a world where human consciousness can be digitized, stored, and transferred between bodies, called sleeves, essentially making physical death reversible for those who can afford it. A former elite soldier named Takeshi Kovacs is revived after being on ice for 250 years and is thrust into a dangerous assignment: solve the murder of one of the wealthiest, longest-living men in existence. As Kovacs delves deeper into the case, he unearths conspiracies tied to inequality, corruption, power, and the lengths the elite go to protect their immortality. His journey also forces him to confront his own past, fragmented identities, and moral dilemmas about freedom and personhood. The show weaves in noir elements, high-tech intrigue, and visceral action as Kovacs shifts between bodies, memory fragments, and shifting loyalties. Over its 2 seasons, the narrative expands into conflict between factions, underground resistance, and the existential cost of a society built on stacking consciousness. You can watch Altered Carbon on Netflix. Number 2. The Expanse. The Expanse is a space opera/political sci-fi series set several centuries in the future, when humanity has colonized most of the solar system. The major powers are Earth, via the United Nations, an independent Mars with its own military, and the Belters, people living in the asteroid belt and outer planets who feel exploited and oppressed. When a wealthy young woman named Julie Mao goes missing, the cases of a detective, a renegade ice freighter crew, and a UN politician begin to intertwine, uncovering a vast conspiracy tied to a mysterious alien substance known as the protomolecule. As tension mounts, Earth, Mars, and the Belt spiral toward war, while the protagonists struggle to hold onto morality in the face of power, survival, and cosmic mysteries. The show blends noir intrigue, hardcore realism in physics, and character drama across shifting loyalties and eras. Over its 6 seasons, the story expands beyond the solar system via ancient gates, lost civilizations, and new worlds. You can stream The Expanse on Amazon Prime. Number 1. Alien Earth. Alien Earth is a science fiction horror series and a prequel to the original Alien film. It's set in the year 2120, in a world controlled by powerful corporations, where humans live alongside cyborgs and advanced synthetic beings, synths. The plot kicks off when a deep space research vessel named the USCSS Maginot crash lands on Earth, and a hybrid named Wendy, a synthetic body infused with human consciousness, along with a band of tactical soldiers, stumble upon dangerous alien cargo and face threats that challenge everything they've been told. As the characters dig deeper, tensions emerge between corporate agendas, questions of identity, and the terrifying biological forces unleashed by the crash. The show intertwines horror, existential dread, and high-tech intrigue, exploring themes of humanity, control, and what it means to be alive. Over its first season, Alien Earth builds toward revelations about the aliens, corporate power plays, and the line between creation and destruction. You can watch Alien Earth in the US on FX and stream it on Hulu.